Greetings. Welcome to Solutions to the Challenge slides for Desmo's marble slide lines. Going to probably break this into two videos. This will be the first one where I'll take a look at a few of the challenges, and then as it starts to get a little long, I'm going to stop and we'll maybe do a second video on it, okay? So let's go get right into it. This is our first challenge slide. We need to take out those 4 stars. They say in the rows below, type as many equations as lines as you need to collect all the stars. Well, notice if we launch right away, we'll knock out 2 of them, but that's not going to be any good because we need to take out all 4, okay? So how are we going to do that? Well, the thing to keep in mind is that if you come down and bonk right here with a line that way and a line that way, it'll split the marbles evenly between the 2 sides. So what I'm going to do is make a line segment that goes between these 2 stars and a line segment that goes between these 2 stars. So to be able to do that, I'm going to need to know what the slope and what the y-intercept of those 2 lines are. So let's get the ordered pair for this point right here because we're going to use that a couple times, and we see that that's at 10 by 15. Okay, and then quickly let's go ahead and get the slope off of here by actually using the counting technique. They usually show you how to get a slope off a graph of a line, and that's counting the rise of the run. And so for example, say we get this line here. We'll do this one first, the one to the right here. Go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the rise is -5, the run is 5, and so that means that the slope of this line is going to be -1. And correspondingly, the slope of that one is going to be +1. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's go over and let's do a little work here to help us figure out what the y-intercept is. Okay, so we'll go over and get our whiteboard going. Alrighty. And let's see, so I know, again, I got an ordered pair. Go back for just a second here. We know this ordered pair was at 10, 15, right? See, that's at 10 and that's at 15. So we know the ordered pair 10, 15 gives us that top star. And so if we go with, we'll call it line 1, which is going to be the negative sloped one, we know the m there was equal to -1. All right, so we know y equals mx plus b gives us the equation of the line with a given slope and a given y-intercept. Well, I know a point and I know a slope. I'm going to plug those all in here. So it's going to give me 15 is equal to -1 times 10 plus b, and then add 10 to both sides, and we get 25 is equal to b. So that tells me line 1 is going to be equal to -x plus 25. Okay, all right, so let's go back over now. Let's try that. So put in y equals -x plus 25, and yay, I'm going through those 2 stars. That's awesomeness, okay? But notice it's a little long, so we're going to have to do some domain restriction here. So it looks like we want it to start at 10, and then I'm going to need it to stop when it hits this one and come back down the other way, aren't I? Okay? So I'm going to need some way to stop it here. We need to give it some room to come by because I'm going to have to put another line that's going to come down this way. If I stop it right at 10, it may not give me enough room for the marble to come in. So maybe we'll back it up one, and then we'll go to, so it's 11, 12, 13, 14. So we'll go to 14, I think. I think 14 is going to work out really good. So less than 14, okay? Yeah, we'll go 14. I think that works. All right, so let's try that. And if it doesn't, we can always adjust it, right? Okay, so same song, second verse, except for this time, let's go back for line 2. And in line 2 here, we see that the slope was a +1. Okay, convince yourself of that. Come over here and check and make sure that you see that the rise over the run is 5/5 in this case. And we also know that we're going through, again, this same point, okay? So again, using y equals mx plus b as my model here, if I plug in that point in the slope of 1, I get, see, I'm going to get 15 is equal to 1, that's my slope, times y, which is 10, plus b, so subtracting the 10 from both sides, we get 5 is equal to b. So line 2 looks like it's equal to x plus 5. All right, so let's go put that one in. So hit an enter, and that'll give me a open up a new box for me. So y equals x plus 5. Yeah, looking good. But I got to again do a domain restriction here. So let's see, where am I going to start? So let's start this one at 5. It's going to be less than x, which is going to be less than 10. Well, no, we'll go 5. Let's go 6. That makes more sense. We're going to give ourselves a little gap there. Okay. All right, so if we do that, And then, of course, we want to be good form, close off our brace here. So let's go check and see how that works so far. Ah, stellar, we got all but one of them. So now all we got to do is get one more line segment to come back over here and catch that one. Okay, so now between this star and that star, we see that the slope is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's 1 again, isn't it, right? Okay, but we got to go through a different point. So the slope again, notice that this line segment here is going to be parallel to that line segment there. So that tells us that these slopes should be the same, which makes total sense. But I'm going to grab this ordered pair right here. Or it doesn't matter, you could grab this one too, this line right here, which looks like I said 12, 13, 14, right? So 13, 14, 15, 15, excuse me. And 15 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 8, 9, 10. So it looks like that one's at 15, 10, okay? All right, so for line 3 here, the new ordered pair that we're going to use is 15, 10. It's got to go through that. And we got again that m is equal to a positive 1, okay? So using again our model y equals mx plus b, that tells me that 10 is equal to 1 times 15 plus b, which if I subtract 15 from both sides, gives me negative 5 is equal to b. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that. So if I go in and go y equals x minus 5, let's see if that works. Yay! Now you can do the chicken dance. All right, so that was a successful challenge. Got it all ready to rock and roll. Let's move on to the next one here, okay? Okay, so now we got these two shoots. And I tried to do this one the other night in the office hour, and I got all befuddled because I was trying to make it way more harder than I needed to, and I forgot. I hadn't done it in quite a while, so I forgot what the heck I was doing here, okay? So let's talk about this, okay? So I know that I got to get from here to here to drop my marbles in. So let's see the slope. If I start my line below my marbles and have them come down, that's going to work out a little better than starting it right on top of it. If I start with the point right here, half of them are going to fall off, okay? Just like back here in the previous one, whenever you have a point, whenever the marbles hit a point of a line, half of them go one way and half of them go the other way. So if I come and bring the line right up to here, I'm going to dump a bunch of my marbles off the side, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to shift down 1 point. And if I do that, notice it's going to go down 2 and over 4 for my slope. So that gives me a huge hint that I know my line is going to be y equals negative 1/2 x, but now I got to get that thing slid up so that it's right here. Well, notice that's at 12, 13, 14, so that means that my intercept is going to be at plus 14. Okay, so notice now that my line is good. It's coming down to the edge of this chute here, which I want it to do, but of course it's a little bit too long. So I'm going to make it end over here at what? X, from x being less than 4. So make x less than 4. Okay, let's try that and let's make sure we don't overshoot our, look at that, they're all going down in there. Perfect, awesome. Okay, so I got those. Now I got to go catch these. So I need to do the same thing. I need to make a line that goes from here over to that chute. So this time, if you take a look at it, notice that I'm going to start again 1 down. I'm going to go down 1, 2, and then I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means my slope there would be negative 2/7. Convince yourself of what I just did there. Make sure that makes sense to you. So 2 divided by 7, x, okay? And now, let's see, where would my intercept be if I came from there? So it looks like if I come back over this way, it's not going to hit exactly on a point there, right? I'm going to have to maybe shift that thing up a little bit, but you know, let's give it a go. Let's try, say, plus 11. Yeah, that's too much. Let's go 10. Ooh, I'm liking that. That looks good, okay? So again, you could have gone in and grabbed one of the points and done it like I did in the previous ones, but you know, it's okay to speed it up a little bit and kind of use a little guess and test. That works too. Okay, so it looks like I need to stop at 11 here. So let's make x less than 11. All right, let's try that and let's see if I overshoot it or not. Looking good, okay? Now notice I'm not quite hitting perfectly at that point, but it still worked. I mean, you could have shifted it up to say, oh, I don't know, say 10.1 and tried that. Actually, that works worse because it overshoots a little bit. Maybe go 10.14. I don't know. Maybe move it up a little more. So what I'm saying is there's a lot. See, that works too. Okay, so there's lots of different intercepts that you could use there to make it work. I mean, obviously the 10 works, so we could just stick with that. Okay. Alrighty, so that's the first 2 challenge slides. I'm going to take a stop here and let you try a couple more of them on your own, and then come back and watch another video if you need some help.